If you've had any sort of recommendations or done any therapies to improve the way your body feels, you might have been given certain cues about how to move or how to breathe. And these ideas, philosophies, have the best intentions, but often they can create rigid habits and beliefs about the way you use your body and the way you see yourself, which can lead to actually blockages and limitations happening down the track. So what I've found is we need to be able to clear those beliefs so that we can create a clear slate, and so you can just really work with what's right for you and get to know your unique body. So to explore this topic a little bit further, I'd just like to invite you into a conversation that I'm having with one of the Breakthrough Pain students, Maya. And in this conversation, we talk about her experience with physiotherapy and a lot of the myths and mindsets about how to move and how to use her body and how they ended up not actually helping her. And I share some examples with other students and my own personal experiences along the way to support you to create a more open and freeing mind space, so then you can feel more free in your body. So without further ado, get into it and enjoy.
If you've gone to yoga or any of those things, like they all have corrective breathing. This is the way to breathe. Like this is you will find, nirvana if you breathe this way. Like, well, the reason I'm failing because I'm not breathing properly. Yeah, they all do kind of fall under that banner of like, well, the reason I'm this way is because I'm broken this way, and I just need to fix the broken thing, and then
And then I'll be
and if
better.
if I'm failing to fix the broken thing, well, then it's either it's your fault, or you haven't tried hard enough, or you're just seriously broken. So there's nothing you can do. But usually it was like you just need to strengthen more, breathe deeper. All your problems are because of X. Oh, I get so often, Benny, like, well, have you tried this seat at work? And I'm like, oh my God. Have you tried this kind of ergonomic chair? Like, maybe your setup is not ergonomic. No, I've tried ergonomics. It's not like, it's not. But I heard, sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, it's often like this, this external savior being tried to fit into, well, you're broken, and if you just have this fix, then you'll be better. And that doesn't work. Well, we then start to go, oh well, because that thing's supposed to fix these people because all these other people said it fixed them, but it's not fixing me. So what's wrong with me? And then that just seems to erode our own self-empowerment of just going, okay, well, what is happening within me?
It doesn't put the question to you, because it's like, well, the problem is because you do X and the solution is external. And then you will, and it doesn't make you look internally and go, but how did that problem come to be in the first place? A problem, if it is a problem. One of the things that I was really, I saw as a benefit of the course was that I didn't seek any treatment during the entire course. Like if I had pain, I didn't think about seeking an external helper for that. So like people would say, oh, you should go see this massage person I have. I'm like, no, I don't need to do that, because I have my own tools that I'm working with. And it shifted my perspective on treatment. Not that it's useless, but just like, that's not what I need right now, because, I've tried that for 10 years. Like, I don't need to do that. Like, I can just keep paying attention to what's going on for me. And that was a big thing, to have the, almost like the strength to not seek other people and just be like, I can work with it from within myself and not panic and look to to a chiro or a massage therapist, or, you know, whoever was being recommended to me at the time.
Yeah, because I have had so many similar experiences as well of like when these things are happening, and you seek, like, you're vulnerable at that point.
Yeah.
You seek the help, and then someone says, "Oh, this is your solution."
Yeah.
That's your solution. You know, like we were saying before, like, oh, you just got to breathe deeper, or you got to do this certain style of breathing, or you just got to fix your posture, or you just got to you got to have more core strength, or you just got to keep a
Yeah.
straight back, or your body's just out of alignment. There's just muscular imbalances, all of these things. So then, because they're just kind of giving us, or, you know, for me, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. So you just got scoliosis. That's not correctable. You just got to deal with it or get a surgery, you know. The one thing that I found is that all that's maybe useful for someone, but at the end of the day, it's still someone's opinion. It's still someone looking outside, and they can't really feel every single experience that you've had from the moment you were born to this moment now. And if we haven't come to terms, if we're not aware of the way all of our experiences have affected our breathing, have affected the way our body aligns, have affected every single emotion that's flowing through us that affects us physically, well then, and then we look for the answer outside, we're never going to get to know what we need to inside to start to find peace in that experience. And
Yeah.
you know, and that's why, like as we were talking about earlier, of just saying that there is, once we start to move beyond knowledge of that you're not broken, that everything is as it is, if we can accept that, you know, my crooked posture, my tight breathing, my sore muscles, my pain, all of these sorts of things, and just start to watch and watch simple things like our breathing, watch simple things like the way our muscles are working, without the judgment of I've got to do it in this way, and if I don't, then I'm wrong. And and then if I, like, it puts a lot of pressure on having to try and fit yourself into someone else's ideals.
Yeah.
It's almost like, okay, your jacket's broken, wear this jacket, you know, but it only fits me and a couple of other people. And then you try and put it on, you're like, it's a bit tight, and you're like, you're just not doing it right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, are you sure? And you're like, yeah, you just got to do it better. Then you'll be able to wear the jacket that it's just fixed all these other people. Then you try it long enough, and you start to realize, maybe I am broken. Maybe there is something wrong with me. And it's that moment, that belief, that I realized that's really disempowering.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the time, if we do have that belief of like, this hasn't worked, that hasn't worked, there's something wrong with me, I'm broken, like nothing can fix me, we need to start to erode that belief and realize, actually, I have all the power here.
Yeah.
You know,
I can fix me. I can do
totally. Like, and like, I actually don't need to fix me because I'm not broken. I'm whole, and often it's like a process of discovering our innate wholeness already, and you know, to move beyond this is the right way to breathe, and just breathe the way you breathe, and watch that, and just and notice, oh, when I breathe, like, it's really shallow, and just go, oh, okay, isn't that interesting? And then just keep going and keep watching it. Oh, when I move, I notice I bias a lot of my weight to this side. Oh, isn't that interesting? I have an opportunity. When I sit, I really I put a lot of weight on this side, or I slouch over to this side, or whatever, over time, or my focus pulls my body out of center. Oh, I can notice that.
Yeah.
in the moment and slowly start to make better choices that just work for me better longer term.
Yeah, which is different than like noticing in the moment that you're focusing in or whatever and doing like this like
Yeah, totally.
because that's what I used to get told too by physios, oh, hypermobile neck, so your head falls forward. And so literally they told me I need to like push my chin in, like I need to push my head back like
Yeah.
multiple times throughout the day. I need to push it back to like correct myself over and over. Like, this feels like, I did it. It didn't work. I mean, it didn't change that, but it also meant that I was like not connecting to where my head was in space. I was just literally like,
Yeah,
I
trying
need
to force it
I,
to be somewhere
trying to,
else.
yeah, which isn't going to happen overnight anyway, because like if you're doing this forever, like you can't just suddenly like, you
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a little bit like I worked with a gentleman and he came and saw me and he had a very straight back. And I said, what's happening? And he said, oh, well, I saw a physio 5 years ago and the physio helped me with my back pain and he really did help a lot. I didn't have back pain for a long time, but now it's come back. And I said, oh, so what did you do? And he said, well, at the time he said to me that, and this is not putting the physio down at all, it's just looking at some of the how these things can really hold us back as well. And he said, just don't don't bend your back, just keep your back straight. So I did that for a few years, and now my vertebrae have become calcified because I didn't move it. So
yeah,
when we started working together, well, I wanted to see if we could regain some movement there. So then, of course, as we did that, it was painful, it was uncomfortable. But then over time, we had to also work through that belief of, oh, my back needs to be straight to not be in pain, and to start
yeah,
to give a new experience of moving through a process of observing. And like undoing calcifications is no simple thing. It takes time. It's
yeah,
like releasing bones, more or less. So
yeah,
it takes longer than muscles and it can be painful, but magical things actually did happen over time where these calcium deposits started to break down. We had some x-rays to have a look at it. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, now I can move. Now there's fears and all that sort of stuff that are coming up, because when I moved in the past, that's when I got hurt. So then there's another process of learning.
yeah,
The ongoing thing is that as we washed away, there's no right or wrong way to move your body, to move your back. It doesn't have to be perfectly aligned, but we need to actually be with the body, be aware of the body as we're moving it. So then we can get those signals back and forth and start to go, okay, this is okay for me today.
yeah,
And I have an intention to grow, to be able to move a little bit more. So that's kind of, once that's clear in the mind and I don't rush toward it, there's all these things that
yeah,
what we're really doing is we're expanding the consciousness of the mind of what's possible. We're also we're humbling the ego as well, of not trying to attach to things so much and just go, oh,
yeah,
if I can't do this, then I'm a bad person, or I should be able to do that in my whatever age, or
yeah,
all these sorts of things. Like,
yeah,
that's a big part of the process of realizing those internal struggles and being able to watch them and going, oh, this is challenging, I'm not so good at this. That's okay. And forgiving
yeah,
ourselves for putting judgment on and the pressure that we have to be good at these things, and just going, oh, I am where I am. And also
yeah.
I do feel drawn to somewhere where I would like to be,
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's not just like, oh, I accept myself, I'm fucked. Pardon the language, but it's just like, okay, I'm a bit fucked, and that's okay. I hold that a bit more lightly, and I believe that I can be a little less fucked. But And,
I want that to be the slogan for your course. You know, okay, I'm a little fucked, but you know, I believe I can be a little less fucked.
and eventually, I'm just kind of, I realize that everything's kind of fucked, and that's
Yeah, and
beautiful.
I'm okay with fuck, so it's fine.
Yeah, but it's funny, like we say that, like it's comical, and I think it's good to bring that lightheartedness to it, because that's kind of how it is. Once we can let go of those attachments, and just
Yeah,
well, there's no perfect way to be. There's no perfect human. There's no perfect posture. There's no perfect breathing. There's just really kind of like really genuinely just doing the best you can to be with what you got, and
yeah,
it's to move more toward this loving intention, you know,
yeah,
uh, instead of the fear driving the things of,
yeah.
you know, and
Yeah, and that's so, I mean, that resonates so much, even what you were saying about that guy's experience with his spine, because when I think about it, like, you know, I had early on when I had a lot of pain in my neck and tension, I was told to, you know, pull my neck to try and get the stretch in there. Then I go see a physio and they're like, never do that because, you know, you can't move you're hypermobile. So if you pull, you're just like pulling it out. So then they gave me the sense of like, your head is literally unstable on your neck. Like you shouldn't be. So I had to, you know, like do this. This is the way. And someone being like, you like fucked your neck up by doing that. You should never do that. And both of those are fear driven. Like both of them are like, you know what I mean? Like neither message was like, neither was connecting with what was going on.
yeah,
But I was like, oh, well, I can't stretch like other people because that's bad for me. Like I can't go do a yoga class because they don't understand how unstable my neck is. Like, you know?
yeah,
So,
and it just puts you more and more in a box of that
yeah. And
fear.
then, but when you were saying like he didn't move it, I'm like, now that I think about it, like I have all this crunchiness all up in my neck a lot of the time. But yeah, lately when I've been doing this, I'm like, I can't remember the last time I did that because I don't feel like I should do that, right? And trying to break that idea, but that what I've heard you say it before, like move it or lose it. And then I think, well, actually, for many years, because I've been told I'm so hypermobile, I actually haven't moved my neck in the ways I would have because that's too mobile. So I've just been so, which confuses people because they're like, well, but why are you so tight if you're so mobile? You know, this weird like, well, you know, so the less I move out of fear of overextending, the more tension I have, even if I could still overextend. Like it's, you
Yes,
know,
totally.
like
Yeah,
wild. Like whereas I was like, oh, actually, what if I just make the focus, you know, between getting up and breaks and being on a computer is just like moving and not worrying too much about it. It's just like because I don't know, yeah. You know, rather than like I gotta go to the gym and do this to make sure that I have a better like upper back and neck. Like, you know.
yeah, totally. Because often what happens is we end up, all these beliefs that we have about the body and exercise is we stack dysfunction, or we amplify it.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
we try to do something about it, it's sort of like, oh, I can't move my neck, so then like I just I amplify things on top of it. Like if, let's say I can't move my neck, but I got to strengthen my shoulder blades or my core or whatever,
Yeah.
so I keep my neck perfectly straight, and then I do those exercises. Well, your neck's still not moving, so how's it going to improve?
Yeah. I know. I
So
know. Or like the last person I saw was like, you need to strengthen like the muscles in your neck. But she gave me these like, circles. And then like the alphabet. I had to do the alphabet. And I just had to do that every day. And no surprises. Nothing changed. And I'm like, what, like, how is that connected to how I'm not feeling it, right? Like, I'm like, okay, alphabet, or I'm like, okay, circles, but I'm not like actually listening or paying attention to what my neck
Yeah,
feels like.
yeah,
They were just very different
totally.
instructions.
Yeah, yeah. There's, yeah, you're thinking about an exercise rather than just feeling it and deciding, okay, because like that exercise could be really good actually.
Yeah, it could be because I'm moving my neck.
Yeah, totally. If we then take the mind and go, okay, I'm not going to try do an exercise. I'm just going to. That's the intention that I've been given, and now I'm going to just see if I can feel that in my body, rather than this thinking of,
Yeah.
am I doing it right? Am I like, is this the way? Oh, sorry, I did the C backwards and just
Yeah, well, your nose
what?
shouldn't go too far. Your nose has to be like,
Yeah, yeah,
small circles with your nose, small
yeah.
circles, which has nothing to do with.
And do I do the letter like, is it what the way you see it or is it the way I see it? Like, did I do it wrong because I
Yeah,
did the letters all backwards? Like all these things,
yeah,
like it creates doubt,
yeah,
doubt in ourselves. So I just love these examples that you're giving, Maya. And it's just, because it's just, we need to take away anything that gives us doubt and
yeah,
to just go, actually, you know what? Like, I have power here in
yeah,
whatever it is. Like, I can move my body and I can know when I'm over pushing it, or I know when I'm not giving it enough stimulus to grow.
yeah,
And like, how do you know all those things? You just got to try. You've got to like,
yeah,
not just try, but just do it and watch the way you do it. And
mm,
it's sort of like, I have a saying of, the way we live is the way we do the dishes.
yeah,
And it's just a general saying of, because for a long time I would resist doing the dishes, and because I felt like it was a chore. I heard my mum's voice, do the dishes,
yeah,
that sort of stuff. So that wasn't actually doing the dishes. There was all these beliefs around doing the dishes that had nothing to do with the dishes, but it affected the action. So then as I was doing it, my body would start to tense up. I would start to get sad. I would feel oppressed, all of these things. So
yeah,
then I started to go, okay, I'm doing the dishes. I'm watching myself do the dishes. And I started to go, okay, well, I'm here and now. Like, I choose to live this moment more fully. How would I like to do the dishes? So I didn't try to fit the way to do the dishes based upon someone else's projection.
yeah,
And then I started to have a lot of fun with it. I was like, "Oh, I can move the plates, and I haven't actually broken any plates yet." And don't try this at home. But just the dishes start to change. But that was a really interesting reflection of the way I chose to live as well, because it's these
yeah,
unconscious moments when we're not thinking about things, that if we watch the way we do it, that's where the gold is.
yeah,
So, like, whether that's like, whether you're doing a physical practice or an exercise or anything, do the exercise, but just watch the way you do it. Like, you might
mm,
do it and watch and go, is this right? Is that right? Am I improving? If you watch that, then you all of a sudden watch that, oh, there's doubt here. There's doubt
mm,
here. So then if you can slowly start to just do the exercise with less of that, well, then the exercise, no matter what exercise it is, will actually improve in effectiveness. So
mm,
you start to realize
yeah,
it doesn't matter what exercise I do. It's just the fact that I put my focus somewhere, and then I watch and I listen, and then I gradually get better at just seeing what's happening rather than what I think should happen or is happening based upon an opinion that someone else has given, or a limited perception that I had from the past.
yeah,
Yeah, so I suppose this all is maybe useful just to support the mindset of going into practice.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
That's helpful. It is helpful because I think it is still, yeah, it's just my current nature is, it's still ingrained in me of like, am I getting it right? Or, I wanted like, or wanting to get better, or those kinds of aspirations of like, I can
Yeah.
improve if am I improving?
Totally. Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, if the intention is um more so like, oh, what happens if I just watch myself doubting first, and then go from there. I won't keep it much longer, but I did want to say that one thing that shifted was the cold showers. I've been doing that ever since you mentioned in your video.
Yes.
And like when I first was doing it, like I I would be like, you know, okay, red, like kind of like prepare myself for it, and then I'd see how long I could make it. Like I'd be like, oh, again, you know. Um, and then in the more recent weeks, I'm like almost looking forward to it. Like I really look forward to it because I'm kind of like, oh, it's a true moment of connecting to feeling. Like it's weird that now I see it really differently. Like I'm not like,
Mm.
oh, the cold shower, but I'm like, oh, I can truly feel my shoulder because of the sensation. It's like such a focus for my mind, like that
Mm.
I see it. I almost see it like part of my practice now. I'm like, cool, cold shower, and then I'm like, woo, spine, and then I'll like move around like. So I just thought I'd share that with you because I was like, it
Thank you.
actually helped me a lot. So,
I'm glad.
um,
Yeah, it's often the little things that like that are not the practice
yeah,
that we indirectly practice that become the practice. I know that sounds a bit slippery, but like if that in and of itself, that way you describe the cold shower, is actually a really useful process of applying in any practice. All the practices
yeah,
we've gone through of seeing it as an opportunity to really
yeah,
just be with what's happening. And the cold is a wonderful teacher because it's uncomfortable in the beginning.
yeah,
Like you're just like,
yeah.
like, but then it gives you an opportunity to start to expand what it actually is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I mean, not to be crazy, it's kind of like taking a drug. Like it's almost like transporting yourself to an experience straight away rather than like what is feeling, right? Like can I feel this part of my body? Can I just like cold? You're like I can feel my shoulder. Like and that like that's what I like about it because I'm like, oh, and it's not, I don't feel it in a bad way. I just literally am like, oh, that's my shoulder and that's my spine and that's I can, and as I move, it's like it, I don't, I no longer have a negative or positive. It's just kind of like, oh, yeah.
Yes, you got it.
I just like, so I feel in a way like you know, it's almost like where I hope I would be in my practice. So it's nice because I go do it and I'm like, oh, you can do it right now. It's just like,
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah. So, well, all I would say is keep going with that, and
yeah,
that in and of itself can inform your practice, and maybe your practice has informed that, and the two. I think
yeah,
these things are wonderful where we can start to realize that there is no separation between, like, when I focus on a practice or an exercise or whatever,
mm,
and and the way I go through life as well.
yeah,
And like every discomfort that comes up in its most subtle form is a message, an opportunity to really expand the perception as to what this is, without a
mm,
preconceived idea of what it should be, what it needs to be, and
yeah.
just seeing it, like you said, as just this is what it is. This is my shoulder.
Yeah.
This is my spine. and
Yeah.
and just being willing to feel it in all its glory, and the light and the shade, and
Yeah.
yeah, everything that it is. So thank you for sharing all
Yeah.
of that, Maya.